I'm Brittany Jones Cooper, and welcome to Build at Home. You know our next guest from her roles on Once Upon a Time and The Good Witch, but today, Bailee Madison is here to talk about her directorial debut for a new music video. Welcome, Bailee. How are you?
Thank you. Hi, Britt. It's good to virtually hang with you guys. I'm glad that we
I
can do this.
know. So good to see you. First, I would just want an update on how your social distancing is going. What has quarantine been like for you so far?
Oh goodness, it's been good. I think the whole thing is so weird and different for so many people. I don't think there's really a right way that anyone's handling it. My sister actually, right when we got into like the stay-at-home alert, she thankfully is okay, but got like a small case of COVID-19, and so she lives really close to me. But it was so difficult because obviously I couldn't see her, and so that was just like a weird reality check of what this new world is. But I've just been, trying to get stuff done at the house, but also check in with myself and quiet time I'm not used to. So learning how to deal with that. But for the most part, obviously, I mean, it's a privilege to get to stay home and to be home. There are so many people out there who are experiencing it as the real deal and for what it really is. So just feel blessed to, be safe and have a home to be in and, trying to make the most of it.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that your sister's healthy. I mean, I know that had to have probably been kind of scary, just going through all that. So I'm happy that she's feeling better.
Thank you so much. Yes, me too.
Yeah. And what have you been doing to stay busy? I know we were talking earlier. You said you are fostering a puppy.
I am. Wait, do you want to see him?
Please.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna try and get him over here. Buzz, I'm fostering a puppy. He's like the sweetest thing. Hold on, I'm gonna get him right now.
Go get him.
Like
Yeah, puppies don't really listen to orders.
There he is. He comes a little bit. This is Buzz. He's never done an interview before. Oh, you're acting like you're so sweet. You guys are not because you are.
He's so happy.
He's so amazing. I've always wanted to foster puppies and dogs and find them homes, but usually with my schedule, it's so difficult because I'm always traveling or somewhere else. But because of staying at home, I was like, one, I want something to do. Two, I want something to take care of that's not myself. And so I've been working with the LaBelle Foundation, and they're wonderful, and trying to find these guys homes. But I think I'm a bad foster parent because I just want to keep up with them. I don't know if I'm the best.
Well, you look like a good foster parent because Buzz was loving up on you, so he looks very happy.
We're obsessed. Yeah.
So I'm glad that you have that going on because I mean it's so hard to stay active and stay busy. And I was just checking out the new music video that you directed right before this all happened.
Yeah.
So take me back to the beginning because you're an actor, but what inspired you to put on the director's hat and then to get into directing a music video?
Okay, it's like a loaded question of different things. Directing has really always been a dream of mine. It's been on the bucket list for many, many years now. And I think I've talked to you guys in the past, when I started venturing into producing. I think the passion started because I've really grown up in this business and in front of the camera, but I've been fortunate enough to realize that it takes an entire team and it takes a village. And so I've been mentored and been able to learn from, so many incredible producers and directors along the way. And I've always loved the idea of getting to take the advice that people have spent time to give me and then step behind the camera and give it to, fellow actors or people that are on a set. But was always kind of waiting for the right time to direct. And then New Hope Club is this incredible band that are based in the UK. And I've been a fan of theirs since, they literally started posting on social media. Lo and behold, now, a year later, they are, one of the dearest friends of mine and so close to my heart. And so I did a music video for them in the past, about a year ago, got an email, and they said from their management, would you want to do this new music video again and be in it? And obviously, because they're friends of mine too, I was like, what do you guys think about that? Like, I just one, does that work with what I'm doing? Does that work with what you guys are doing? And Blake Richardson, who's a part of the band and a genius, he turned and he was like, look, you've been wanting to direct, like, why don't we support each other on this? And you can direct this and help us out and make this a video that we've always dreamed of having, but haven't been able to do. And, we can let you venture on and take this task. And so we just literally started from that moment on, but so happy that I was able to do it with, so much support around me and vice versa.
That is so cool. And take me through the treatment because I checked out the music video. You guys are exploring different television eras. You're going all the way back. So take me through the creation of that idea.
The creation happened once the, the ask was, do you want to direct it? the way my brain works and the way that Blake's brain works is like we just start coming up with things. We can't help ourselves. And so he looked at me and he's like, look, we obviously are lovers of music. The whole band is, George and Reese and Blake, and they have such appreciation for, you know, the Beatles down to Oasis and, you know, the Stone Roses. And so they were like, what if there was a way to, you know, travel through these different eras that we love and respect and admire and kind of have an ode to, you know, the musicians that we look up to so much. And I love that idea because the song itself is obviously going through a breakup and, you know, things aren't good anymore. And I feel like a song like that can, you know, easily be taken in a predictable kind of direction. And this is the first sound for the guys as the band. And I said, I want to do something that shows you guys in this new, mature, grown-up light. And so then I was like, I just want to cheat on you the whole video. So I did that with like every member, and that was a blast. But we just immediately kind of came up with it, pitched it, and wrote the treatment. Obviously, there were a lot of like speculation because we had to film it in less than 12 hours. You know, I was a first-time director, had to get everyone to sign off on that, but just didn't back down, and really just believed in the vision. And I mean, I'm so happy with it, and I think the whole team is as well. So we hope people love it.
You filmed it in 12 hours, and I would imagine you had to be very focused because the Corona stuff was sort of starting, and there weren't a lot of times to go back and do reshoots or anything, right?
No, there wasn't. I mean, thankfully, we filmed this right before, I mean, you realize that things were about to change. I think about 3 days later is when I was like, oh, I'm staying home. And it really hit us. And thankfully, we literally only had one day on the schedule that worked for all of us to film this video, and it happened to be that day. And so feel very, very fortunate that that was the case, that, you know, we could enter quarantine with this video in our hands and have the time for me and, you know, Blake to go into the editing room and actually be with the editor in person and edit this video with her. And so, you know, all those things coming into play wouldn't have been possible if it was done any later. And so thankful for the timing.
Yeah. And what was the process like working with Blake? Because I know you guys are very close. And so sometimes working with somebody that you're seeing it can be stressful. But what was that experience like?
No, it was horrible. No, it was great. If you asked him, he'd be like, terrible. No, I mean, it was so much fun. You know, I think it's a fortunate thing for two people to, you know, love being creative so much and love to be able to work hard and have these visions and these ideas in your head. And when that's able to be matched by someone that you respect, you know, not just in a work standpoint, but as a human being and a personal standpoint, it's a really lucky and wonderful thing. So, you know, I was like, look, you want to produce this thing with me? And he was like, I've never produced. And I said, you got this. And he was like, you've got this directing thing. And we just went in like head first together. And so I think to have that experience together is obviously a very, very cool thing for the both of us. But no fights. It was good.
That's good. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we got stirred on a few things, but like rightfully so. We were like, sorry, work mode. Okay, I'm off of it now. I'm off of it.
That's just conviction. You need that in the creative process.
Yeah.
That
Definitely
works. And I know you
set up like work hours though, and like non-work hours, because we were kind of taking it into like the end of the days, and we were like, oh, we have to shut our phones now.
Yeah. That's what I've heard from couples who collaborate. It's like you do have to have a hard off time,
the
because
day
otherwise
after
it's
the video,
24/7.
we were like, phones down, we're celebrating. Like, how are you?
You also called in some other friends to be in the video. So what was the casting like?
Oh, it was, I mean, you know, it was one of those things where I just was like, this is my first time directing, and it would be so cool to get to have these, you know, certain people in my life and friends of mine who have just stuck by my side through this whole thing and my career and my life personally. And so I just started doing these random asks and was kind of so overwhelmed by the love and the support by the friends who were like, I will be there. Obviously we also decided to film it during like Fashion Week and like Milan Fashion Week. So many like my friends were out of town, but just like the most supportive through the phone whenever I needed them, which meant the world to me. But the guys were fans of Wizards Waverly Place, and obviously I was on it, and they are wonderful friends of mine still. And so I called up David Henry and Jennifer Stone and David DeLuise and Maria, and they were all down and in town, and they were like, let's do this, which was so exciting. And then my friend Robin Lively, I did a movie with. She is married to Bart Johnson, who was Coach Bolton on High School Musical. And I was like, you guys need to come and be in this. And they said yes. And Meg Donnelly's a friend of mine, and Maddie Ziegler. And so they joined in as well. And it was just like the most supportive, wonderful, lovely thing in the entire world to have them there. They made it so special.
And it is so special. I checked out the video, and the energy is so big throughout, and I just love all the transitions you guys make. Congrats on it. I mean, it's such an amazing thing.
Thank you. It was, you know what, it was as much of a passion project and as much love as possible, and so that means the world. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know you have a show coming up on Netflix too. Before we wrap.
Yeah, I have a film. I just wrapped up in Nashville.
A film.
It's a musical, and I've obviously it's like no surprise now. I'm like obsessed with music. I always have been, and I've always kind of wanted to tap into that world personally as well and see what that holds for me. But wanted to obviously do it in an authentic way. And I think the dream was always, can I combine both these worlds that I love and get to do it for the first time? And this script came along, and I just fell in love with it and was able to produce this movie as well, which was, you know, so much fun to have the producing side that I love and the acting side, and then also tap into dancing and singing for the first time. But we just found our home at Netflix, so we're really thrilled. And that will, I think, around, I don't know if I can say, like soon, next year-ish, around then. But we love Netflix, and it'll be great.
I'm just impressed by all of the things that you're like producing and directing and acting and singing. Is there something that you haven't had the chance to do that you are really looking forward to pursuing in, I don't know, let's say the next 5 years?
Oh gosh, that's so loaded. I mean, 5 years from now, I'm like, hopefully I'm married. Like, give me that. Like, I'm pursuing that, man. But no, I mean, I would say that the hope would be to get to kind of dive deeper and see what it holds for me in terms of the directing world. I think the dream has always been, in 5 years from now, can I start creating my own stuff? I love writing. This quarantine, I've been, you know, working on script ideas and things that I can start to develop. And I think as a woman too, I mean, I'm, you know, 20 years old, I've grown up in this business. I'm now kind of teetering on that, you know, she's known as the little girl, and then she's now the teenager, and what does this adult world look for her? And being, you know, very selective. That's why I've, you know, kind of taken some quiet time to not jump from one thing to another, because I feel like this is a very crucial time to kind of start to show who I stand for as an actress in this day and in this, you know, time in my life. But it is really hard to find things, you know, that do speak to me, and that, you know, aren't just the girl next door, or the girlfriend, or, you know, the girl at the party. And so the idea to start to create things of my own that I know that there are so many, you know, people out there that would maybe be excited to do and to push themselves in that way, I think that would be a wonderful dream of mine, to just start creating, you know, a space of my own for others to join.
I love hearing that from you. One, because you're a 20-year-old woman, and that's just a time where you're finding yourself anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's cool to hear you kind of going through that and using art to process that. And I'm excited to see some of the stuff that you're going to create.
Thanks,
that's so
Brett.
cool.
You're welcome to
join.
Everyone's welcome.
I'll be here. I'll be there.
Yeah.
First person in line always.
Thank you so much.
Well, where can people see the new music video?
YouTube. Everyone can see it on YouTube. It's on New Hope Club's official channel, so it's all up in there. Stream it, love it. Let us know what you think. We are so grateful for the support. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Bailee, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Of course. Thank you.